Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to B.LEAGUE action once again here this Tuesday. It is the finals. This is for all the marbles. This is game number 3 between the RYUKYU Golden Kings and the HIROSHIMA Dragonflies. Anthony Starr here together with Josh Bett. And Josh, this is it. It is win, you get the championship, or you go home and you prepare for next year.
Well, welcome, Anthony, again. History will be made today. 2 occasions could potentially happen. Either the RYUKYU Golden Kings are going to be the second team in B.LEAGUE history to win consecutive championships, or we're going to have a 5th champion. Remember, the B.LEAGUE has only been won by the Chiba Jets, Utsunomiya Brex, of course, the likes of Alvak Tokyo and RYUKYU Golden Kings, Hiroshima Dragonflies. They want to put their name in the history books of Japanese B.LEAGUE hoops.
We're going to find out, as you said, which side history will shine on as we take a look at the lineup here of Coach Dayo Kitani. This, as you mentioned, Josh, the defending champions. And so with this lineup, they felt they were going to be strong enough to be able to repeat.
Well, no doubt, of course, I did mention this at the end of Game 2, that if they did go to a Game 3, this would go in the favor of the RYUKYU Golden Kings. To get to the finals, they had to go to 2 Game 3 series against Alvak Tokyo and the Chiba Jets. Hiroshima Dragonflies, they played exceptionally well in Game 2. But you mentioned, Anthony, the fact is the percentage from within inside the rainbow, the three-point line, was not as high as the three-point line. So tonight, if Dragonflies want to take the title home, they've got to make at least over 10 three-pointers to become successful. And without that man, Ryota Hiroshima, it does make the task a little bit tougher.
Yes, it definitely does. He's one of the highest paid cheerleaders here in the B-League. And unfortunately, for him and his squad, he's not available once again here because of an injury, and so he's going to have to be able to rehab and look forward to next season. But for Coach Kyle Milling, he feels that still they've got the tools to be able to come away with the victory here today.
Well, Kyle Milling, of course, one of the most experienced coaches here in the B-League, also played in France. But, Anthony, it's a Game 3. I don't think there's much tactics, much X's and O's that both teams can look at. They know each other so well. Today, it's about being clinical, making the right decision at the right time, and exploiting the defense to find those errors. It will be very interesting, to say the least.
I agree with you 100%. Let's right now first enjoy the fanfare as they welcome the teams here for game number 3. And there you have the starters for both these squads. The Golden Kings starting off with Durham, Kishimoto, Imamura, Onadera, and Cooley. For the Dragonflies, it's Blackshear, Nakamura, Evans, Kawata, and Yamazaki. Well, Josh, as far as Coach Kyle Milling is concerned, he's sticking with the same lineup he had for game number 2.
Well, Anthony, I think he learned his lessons from game 1. Listen, in the first 2 games, we've seen a total of 67 combined three-point attempts here from the Golden Kings. There's no surprise. They're a volume perimeter shooting team. But I think one thing, they made 15 of those in game 1 and only 10 in game 2. So Coach Kyle Milling's game plan, of course, is we got to make it tough for Imamura. We got to make it difficult for players such as Kishimoto. I think if they feel that if they take that game away from the Golden Kings, they'll give themselves a chance. Every other stat, though, went in favor of the Golden Kings. But if you take away their identity, their bread and butter, you give yourself a chance to compete for a championship here tonight.
So Isaiah Murphy has been relegated to the bench, the usual starter for Coach Kyle Milling, and he has Blackshear coming in relief. But right now, he is starting off with Carey. On the other side, how important is Keita Imamura, that man on your screens, going to be here in the campaign here tonight for Game 3 for the Golden Kings?
Well, it's exactly what we just mentioned with Dio Katani's team. 67 combined attempts from the three-point lines in games 1 and 2. It's no surprise. I've referred to both him and Kishimoto as the Japanese Splash Brothers throughout this entire season. They need to make sure tonight that if they're going to make this work, they've got to be more move. There's got to be a lot more movement on the perimeter. And that means when players such as Alan Durham, Jack Cooley have the ball in their hands, not only Kishimoto, but also Onadera, they've got to free themselves up on the perimeter. But Anthony, basketball's a game of 2 halves. They've got to make sure in the second half they don't fall asleep.
Here we go. Game number 3 underway with referee Kato, referee Abe, and referee Irieda. Starting here with a turnover. Not the kind of way you want to start if you're a fan of the Golden Kings.
Well, both these two teams did get a days of rest yesterday. Remember, it's the first time in B-League history where Game 3, there was a day between Games 1 and 2. So both should be fresh at the moment.
Evans will start things off with a 3. Will come up short, but Kerry Blackshear gets a long rebound. Second servings here for the boys in white. Rio from the outside, back rims that one. He'll track it down. Third attempt here. 2-man game. Rio over to Kerry. Kerry attacks. Basket here to start things off. Hiroshima 2-0.
That offense was all Kerry Blackshear getting the first rebound, but also Dragonflies winning the 50-50. He's got to be more aggressive inside the paint tonight.
Kishimoto from downtown. That was a logo 3, a little bit too strong. One and done once again. to the perimeter. Ryo from the wing. 0 for 2 now from the field, but another offensive rebound here for the Dragonflies. Nakamura looking for space, tries to kiss it off the glass and does. It's 4-0.
A nice little seal off by Nakamura, just getting Kishimoto on his back, but effectively using that screen and finding the space from the 45 angle.
Minute and a half gone here in the opening quarter. Here's Imamura looking for space against Evans. You can see the respect that they're giving him as they put Evans trying to shut down Imamura. No movement whatsoever there on the offensive end, and it'll be a third turnover. 24-second shot clock violation.
Well, Anthony, the ball just stays in the hands of Imamura too long. 2 times there, he could have given the ball down low to Jack Cooley in the post, but, you know, Imamura and, of course, Kishimoto, both of them, we saw in the previous offense, they don't need to play hero basketball. They've got to settle into the rhythm, make the ball move, and try to find more openings in the post. Anthony, this team's a very good post play team, but they've got to throw it inside the paint.
Well, you can't utilize your post players if it doesn't get to them. Blackshear falling away will come up short. Kishimoto trying to run. Look for the early offense. Imamura from deep. No. They've not gotten the ball to Jack Cooley until then. Kishimoto a long 3. No. That's going to stay here. That might be a
twice
wrong
been bailed
decision.
out by Shota Onodera, Anthony. The first 3 went up. Onodera put his hand in the cookie jar. Cooley came up with it, but again, forcing the turnover here. And that's why Dayo Katani has him in the starting lineup. He is the ultimate glue player for the RYUKYU Golden Kings.
So the ball will stay here with the Golden Kings. Let's see if they finally get that ball to one of their 2 imports. Durham has not had a touch. Finally, they get it to him, but he gives it up. Trying to look for a power move there was Allen, and he gets fouled there by Ryo Yamazaki.
Well, you see with the Dragonflies defense, they're really trying to get into the faces of the Golden Kings backcourt. But as you said, Durham didn't get a touch into that offense. By throwing the ball in the paint, what you do is you make the Dragonflies defense collapse, and that will free up some more open looks on the perimeter. Golden Kings, they have to play a lot more collective here.
Let's see if Coach Oketani does make that change and tries to remind his players about it. They swing it around the perimeter once again. Cooley will come out, set that pick. Ball still with Kishimoto. Onodera this time from the outside, no. Long rebound goes to Imamura. One of the few times they try to go to Durham, and Blackshear almost with a steal.
Well, I don't know if Durham is a little fatigued already or holding an injury, but actually the movement right now from Alan Durham doesn't look like his usual self. And again, we talk about throwing the ball inside. Durham and Cooley, they've got to work a little bit harder here at the moment.
Quickly, they get it inside. Cooley. That has been their recipe for success all throughout the season.
Well, case in point, they've thrown it in now to Cooley, and maybe they need to go to that option. This will make the Dragonflies rethink their strategy here defensively.
Evans will bring it out. Blackshear to the wing. Nakamura's going to get fouled by Kishimoto.
It's a scramble on defense at most moments here for the Golden Kings. They're trying to switch on the pick and rolls, and the kick out to Nakamura. You can just see there a little bit of a lazy closeout for Kishimoto as he picks up his first personal foul.
Evans getting ready to trigger in the inbound. Gets it to Kawata. Evans now working against Imamura. There's Cooley ready to double team. That's a nice swing. Nakamura, medium range jumper, money.
It's 2 times now Kishimoto's been called on a closeout. He's got to make sure that he doesn't go over too much, but also just tries to make life a little bit more difficult for Nakamura.
Lead is back up to 4. The Golden Kings. Let's see if they change their strategy here. That time a lot of movement, but still. The only shot taken by their world import has been from Jack Cooley. Extra pass, Blackshear. You'll want to take a chance. Now will attack. Gets away from the defense, but Jack Cooley there shuts the door on him.
Here's where the Golden Kings need to get something quick here. Try to go in transition. That's a much better play by Alan Durham. Getting out on the fast break and catching the Dragonflies defense off guard.
Oh, he's looking like he's moving a whole lot better there, Josh.
Yeah, it's the third game in 3 days, but as I mentioned, three-game series already here for the Golden Kings, plus extra games this season. They're going to be slightly more fatigued, I reckon, but they got to play through it.
Three not going to work there for Evans. Kishimoto trying to race down court. Imamura's going to get it back. Keita really looking for his shot here. And he's going to miss everything.
So that's just not a good shot for me, Anthony. You go back to the offense where they went for the dribble handoff, but nice rejection here by Jack Cooley. The previous one, before Alan Durham scored, they got a dribble handoff and they got a penetration inside the key. It's those kind of offense where everybody's in sync, and that has to make the defense move. In that case, all the defense needs to do against Imamura is close him out. It's not a high percentage look.
I asked you how important is the presence of Imamura. He needs to be able to score, but I think it's got to be in the flow of the offense. Rio's going to knock that one down.
Well, Dragonflies controlling the tempo right now. They're really dictating everywhere the Golden Kings go on defense, and that's what's leading to so many good looks.
Here's Durham trying to take Madison to his own hands. That's a good shot, though.
If I'm Dio Katani at the moment, I'm thinking about bringing Vic Law into the game because quite clearly you can see the defensive mismatch here. I mean, here's the double team. Oh, Derek doesn't need to commit there to Nick Mayo when he's already been guarded by Jack Cooley. Vic Law's got to come in here and try to defend Dwayne Evans.
Mayo's going to take a quick one. Onodera with the board. Vic Law getting ready to check in. And the next dead ball. That's a great entry pass. Cooley can't convert, but he's got 2 free throws coming.
See, if I'm Dio Katani right now, I'm saying to my players, feed the ball inside to Jack Cooley. Go through any set offense, but get it inside the paint, because you can clearly see Dragonflies, they can't stop him from cementing position and getting the ball, let alone making a move.
That's going to be the first personal foul there, Nick Mayo. The foul situation, again, will be a big factor here in game number 3, that's for sure. Cooley makes the first. He's got 3 points. Two for 2 there. As Cooley will take a seat. In comes Vic Law. So the combination is going to be
double
Law.
change now. I think. Oh no, Alex Cook's not in, so they're going with a small lineup. Durham at the 5.
I thought Alex Kirk was going to come in, so it's going to be Durham, correct, and Law. Isaiah Murphy has checked in for the first time. Just slowly now, Coach Kyle Milling going to his bench. Rio almost lost it. Finds space, throws it up, a little bit too strong.
It's a smart change by Okatani because I think what he's realized, the Dragonflies go with Nick Mayo at the center, so Alan Durham defensively matches up a little bit better with him than both Jack Cooley and Alex Cook.
On the outside, Imamura's going to get it, take another shot. Still, he has not hit out of his 5 tries from the field. Talking about Keita.
Slightly better offense, but I think he can do a little bit better because he knows they're going to close them out. Just try to maybe manipulate the defense and get inside the paints.
Nice no-look pass. Goes back outside. Open 3. Yes! 2 threes right now here for the Dragonflies.
The Golden Kings off-ball defense is costing them right now. You can see players are either ball watching or just court watching them in. You've got to take accountability even if you're 1 or 2 passes away because that's what's making this defense collapse.
Durham looking for a friend, gets it to Kishimoto. Shot clock's at 1. Kishimoto with a prayer, and it's answered.
Well, these are the kind of shots they'll go for, Anthony, but you can see there, I'm not quite sure if it was supposed to be a pick and roll or a pick and pop from Durham, but again, it's not a lot of movement here from the Golden Kings offensively.
Which is very surprising because usually they are very strict and methodical in what they do. Here's Mayo inside. will miss.
Golden Kings should have gone to Nakamura. He was wide open in the corner, but nice take here by Alan Durham. And I have to go back to that previous offense by the Golden Kings. Nakamura had it in the corner. He was closed out effectively by Vic Law. Once he made one pass, Vic Law completely turned his body. So, Nakamura should have either gone baseline or should have got the ball back because he would have been wide open. I mean, Dragonflies, they could pretty much take this game over if they read the defense a little bit better.
12-9. They're still happy though. They got the 3-point lead. First personal foul is going to be called there on Isaiah Murphy. That will be 3 on the Dragonflies. A missed free throw here. Now, these free throws are also going to be critical. There's the man we have always been talking about, Ryo Terashima. This guy would have been a game changer.
And of course, credit to the Dragonflies taking to a Game 3 after the heavy defeat in Game 1. I mean, they did make a comeback, but you got to say to yourself, if they're able to win this game tonight, that would be massive to know that they did it without one of their best, probably their best backcourt player. So Dragonflies, it's looking good for them. But this game, as we mentioned, it's a game of 2 halves, 4 quarters, whatever you want to call it. So they still got a big battle to upheave.
Here comes Alex Kirk in for the first time. Durham will take a rest. That lead, which once stood at 6, is now down to 2. Seiya Funyu checking in. Evans at the 1. Up against Law. That's a great matchup. Speed for speed. Talent for talent. Murphy will have to bring this one out. Kawata can't give it up properly. Shot clock is winding down. Evans realizes it. Forces up a 3. Not gonna happen. Here's Law in the open court. Gets denied there by Funyu. Kirk. Boy, he was looking for a big slam. He just lost possession.
Well, 2 things we identified, Anthony. Number 1 was that they had to make the change early, bringing Vic Law in for Kishimoto because the defensive matchup against Dwayne Evans, much better. But this is what I like here from Alex Cook. Big man following up here for the second chance. Now, not the best free throw shooter, but Kirk has got to finish this one. We did see in Game 2, Anthony, a similar situation with those 2 players where Kirk tried to follow up and they had a 3-on-1. They still didn't capitalize. But possession by possession, Golden Kings are going to try to stay in there.
So they're going to say the foul here from Funyu was before he took the shot. That will put them in the penalty though. Law. Turn attack. Create some space. That's going to drop.
Well, just like Dwayne Evans being guarded by Imamura, same thing for Vic Law being guarded by Seiya Funyu. It's a clear mismatch. They got to keep going to that option.
They repost. No doubles coming. Blackshear almost lost it. Shot clock winding down. They realize it. They put it up. Mayo's going to track it down though. Another 14 seconds. Mayo. Quick 3. Short. Long rebound to Funyu. And again, they're going to use clock. That's a nice pass. Kawata with a big slam.
Well, the 50-50 is going in favor of the Dragonflies. And you know what? That comes down to the responsibility of the backcourt. Not only the bigs have got to be responsible for boxing out, but point guards, shooting guards, they've all got to put a body on their man. Those 50-50s, they can't keep going in the hands of the Dragonflies.
Mashiro is in. He played sparingly in game number 2. Didn't play at all in game number 1. But called upon here this time by Coach Dai. Shot clock winding down. It's at 10. Nice pass to the wing. Funyu delivers a 3.
That's disappointing for the Golden Kings because Alex Kirk, I think, did everything right on the initial ball screen. Just making life a little bit difficult, giving time for his player to recover. But again, it's all the scramble here for the Golden Kings. They've got to be better here, but that's the end of the first quarter.
Vic Law trying to beat the shot clock there and the game clock. It's not going to happen. First quarter done, and it's a 5-point lead here enjoyed by the Hiroshima Dragonflies at 17-12. Welcome back to the Yokohama Arena for game number 3 between the RYUKYU Golden Kings and the Hiroshima Dragonflies. As we enter the second period, it's a 5-point lead enjoyed by Hiroshima, looking to get their first championship here in the B-League. Anthony Sty here together with Josh Bett, and we're so happy to bring you all the action live here. Funyu at the controls once again. He just hit a big 3. Kamisawa does the same.
This backcourt defense at the moment here from the second string. You've got the likes of Hayato Maki, not to mention the likes of Matsuaki as well. They've got to be a little bit more composed.
Kurt tries to take advantage of that size mismatch. It's not going to drop. Good hustle there for Vic Law to keep it with his squad.
So right there, they're trying to close out like they're Reggie Miller on the perimeter. I mean, a closeout, you've got to give just a little bit of distance so you put the shot up, but you can't be making those errors here in game 3.
They go inside Law. Kicks it out. Maki for 3. Wow, a lot of the outside shots that was falling early in the series for the Golden Kings. Not here in the early goings of game 3.
Yeah, and that's down to Dragonflies defense. You know, they're not just trying to run out and block them as possible. They're just contesting everything. They're making life a little bit difficult, and that is a sign of a team, you know, especially with Coach Cal Milling. Their defense is more composed. It's more calculated. The Golden Kings have just got to keep trying to find ways to break it down, though.
That's a deep 3. It's going to work. Maybe not the best of shots, but again, as long as it drops, Matsuaki there with his first triple.
Well, as the late, great Kobe Bryant would say, it's chaos basketball. It's penetrate, kick out to whatever's open, and sometimes you're going to see that from the Golden Kings. But hey, it's what won them the championship last year. This is how they like to play.
Funyu with 2 fouls. Gets to Blackshear. Blackshear, straight line drive, can't work. Forced to put that one up. He hits a big one. Is it a long 2 or 3? But nevertheless, it's a basket once again.
That's a worrying sign because that was good defense. But the confidence of the Dragonflies, Anthony, it is terrifying at the moment for the Golden Kings.
They could not hit an outside shot in game number 1. That's why they lost that. But here, starting off like a house on fire, Funyu. We'll give it up to Mayo. They go inside of Blackshear. Nick Mayo left wide open. Bang!
Second time now the Dragonflies have had a wide open 3-pointer, and again, it's just confusion, miscommunication on defense. And you know, this is not what you want to see, the signs of a defending champion, and rightfully so. Dakutani's got to call timeout because you cannot allow these many wide open looks on the perimeter.
Badly needed timeout there from Coach Okitani. Venture a guess, Josh, on what he reminded his boys during that last break.
Well, he's kept Imamura on the bench. I just wonder, Anthony, defensively, man-to-man, you can see here it's become a bit of an issue for the Golden Kings. Sometimes you see this at high-level basketball, that when a team is shooting well from the perimeter, go into a zone defense, but go into a high 3-2 zone defense. Force them to put it on the baseline and force them to put it in the paint. But we'll see what Okutani's change has got. Kishimoto's back in, but offensively, now we need to go back to Cooley inside the paint.
Step back 3 is not going to work. And again,
big
there's
problem
just
with that
no
shot
movement,
as well.
Josh.
That's not a good shot. Not a good shot.
Now Blackshear on the outside. Kawata trying to set that pick. Shot clock's winding down. Mayo realizes it. Sets up for a three. A little bit too strong. That tip was from Kawata, so that would have been a backing violation.
I don't think so, Anthony. I think a tip isn't full possession.
That's
and
true.
I'll tell you why. I've seen that in the BCL in Europe, in the Basketball Champions League. Same thing happens. I think you saw the assistant coach get off the bench. Why did you let that one go? I just wonder.
Something for them to talk about during the last break. A reminder to these players. Durham back in action. They want to pull the trigger. Kishimoto, a deep one, drops. They've hit 2 deep threes here, Josh.
I was just wondering, Alan Durham took a little bit of time to get the ball reversal. And again, it's another deep shot. Dragonflies don't live with this, Anthony. Because these three-pointers, they've either been made by no man's land or they've been made with hands in the faces. So it still goes in favor for Hiroshima at the moment.
Dragonflies with possession and an 8-point lead. Blackshear hits the deck. It's going to be a turnover. Durham. Back over to Kishimoto. Kishimoto will launch another one. Short that time. Are they forcing the threes too much here, Josh?
Well, this is their identity. This is their bread and butter, as I keep saying. But Anthony, it's a 3-on-1 in transition. You know, the transition defense was able to recover only because they went to Kishimoto. But you know, in this situation, you've got to go to the basket right now. As I mentioned, they've taken a combined total of 67 three-pointers in games 1 and 2. And they're only making ones like this right now here in game 3. So you got to find other ways to score if you want to get back in this game.
Those are the only threes being given by the defense, those long ones. Murphy. They find Blackshear. Blackshear will give it up. Evans back in the ball game. Very brief rest for Dwayne. He'll put up a 3 and come up short. Kishimoto now trying to push 4-on-4 basketball at the moment. Cooley will give it back out. They repost. He's going to lose it. Boy, helter-skelter basketball is what we're witnessing here. Durham goes strong. Loses possession. That must be a slippery basketball.
Oh, it's interesting. Cooley got the first post entry and he got him sealed off on the double block. So you probably imagine that's where he wants to isolate. Kicks it back out to Onodera. Onodera's got to be a little bit more intelligent because when he threw the second one, they turned it over. Now, granted, Dragonflies couldn't contain it, but you know, I'm looking at this offense right now for the RYUKYU Golden Kings. I'm starting to wonder. It's a little too loose, a little too open, but I'm also looking at Cooley right now thinking, is he 100% at the moment? Because he's not looking like his usual self.
Well, right now you see him there on your screens. On the side. Foul was actually called there on Blackshear. He didn't agree. But it's 2 free throws here for Alan Durham. Keita sent back in. They need him to find his range. Rio in as well. So slowly but surely, both coaches getting their starters back in.
So if I'm Dio Kutani right now, I'm thinking about putting Kishimoto, Imamura in the backcourt and probably playing Vic Law at the 3. I know he usually likes to go with the starting lineup of Onodera with Kishimoto and Imamura, but I would just change it up a little bit now because defensively, what Vic Law is able to offer is the defense against that man right there, Dwayne Evans.
Split from the line. Lead's been cut down to 7. Nakamura is also back in the fray. It has been a highly physical affair here. Little stutter step, that's going to work. That's too easy there for Nakamura.
Well, Cooley can't come over and help out because it's going to leave a wide open three-point shooter in the corner of Isaiah Murphy. So again, it's accountability for the man-to-man defense. It needs to be better here from the Golden Kings.
Extra pass. Didn't get there. Imamura tracks it down though. There's a quick double. Look at Ryo Yamazaki first to the floor.
It's all too perimeter based at the moment. You know, Golden Kings, they're trying to reverse the ball, and the defense are anticipating. I mean, they're telegraphed. Just get the ball, penetrate, get inside the paint, make the defense collapse. At the moment, Dragonflies don't need to work for anything.
Almost a 5-second violation. Law will try to attack here. Not even able to get a shot up. Another 24-second shot clock violation. That's their second here in the first half.
Well, they've been tested. The backs are up against the wall, and they're just being, right now, they've been beaten by a team that's a little bit more hungry. They just wanted a little bit more here than the Golden Kings.
Final 5 minutes of game number 3 here in the first half. 28-19. The Dragonflies on top.
Well, Nakamura's been the X factor right now. They've got to be a little bit more aggressive in showing off him every time he comes off a ball screen. Contain him, and you might be able to stop the Dragonflies defense. But here again, wide open.
At work once again, puts up a 3. That was halfway down. Nice spins by Onodera.
And that's a bailout call there. Disappointing. Caught in the double team. They had him right where they wanted him, Anthony. Let's travel. That's a walk on a Monday, Tuesday, and even today.
Well, everything, I guess, happened too fast for the referees. They missed that one, but still, at least catching a break there with the fans of the Golden Kings. But right now, they need their teams to score. Second personal foul is going to be called on Ryo Yamazaki. He'll have to sit down. Kawata's back in. A good sign for the Dragonflies. He still has no personal foul. They can't get the ball to Law. Eventually it gets to Vic. Vic against Murphy. Tries to shoot over Isaiah. Basket and one.
Well, Dragonflies have got to be aware of this because, you know, if it's Dwayne Evans got in Vic Law, that shot's going to be a lot tougher. Those two players, they are evenly matched. But if you've got players like Isaiah Murphy or Nakamura defending Vic Law, that's going to be an ISO. Somebody's got to come over and help out slightly.
That's a very difficult shot, but again, Vic Law is an incredible talent. On the line now, looking to complete a three-point play with 4:24 still to be played here in the first half. In the penalty once again are the Dragonflies.
Now, Anthony, one thing I've noticed about the Golden Kings, especially in the Alvak Tokyo series in the quarterfinals, they struggle to defend ball screens. If I'm Coach Kyle Milling, you get the ball to Nakamura and you say, listen, set him a ball screen, come off it aggressively, because now you're going to see the weakness here in the Golden Kings defense. But likewise, the Golden Kings have got to come out aggressively and show to stop Nakamura in his tracks.
Blackshear trying to work on Vic Law. Finds Nakamura. Back to Blackshear. Nakamura. Does he realize the clock is winding down? Three's not going to drop, but that was touched last there by Vic Law.
That was good defense that time by Kishimoto, but Onodera just over helping on the baseline. You've got to anticipate when he does dribble the baseline, he's going to try to kick out to the wide open three in the corner. That should be an interception for the Golden Kings.
The black shirt will take a seat. Back in is Nick Mayo. Couple of slick portions on the floor. Just being dried up. Safety first. Then once again, another baseline inbound here for Nakamura, who is being hounded by Kishimoto. Under 4 minutes to be played before the halftime break. Tale of two coaches. Kawata quickly gets it back to Nakamura. Nakamura's gonna lose it. 3-on-1 fast break. Law converts.
The Dragonflies have let themselves down there, Anthony. If you saw on that inbound play, who was guarding Nick Mayo? Shota Onodera. You've got to identify that. You've got a player over 6'10", defended by 6'3". That should be a clear blood in the water for the Dragonflies, and they missed that one.
(28-24), 3:49 still to be played here in the second period. Once 11-point lead now, just down to 4. Nick Mayo not wanting to pull the trigger, goes inside. Kawata, his second basket, his second slam dunk.
Well, that's all down to Kishimoto. You've got to keep Nakamura in your sights. As soon as he beat him in the full court, got inside the key, that was it. It was a collapse on defense.
Lead back up to 6. Trying to look for Jack Cooley, who's just checked back in. Kishimoto.
That time he took matters into his own hands. Just the penetration. The defense fell asleep, and that's because, you know, Dragonflies, they're waiting for the turnover to happen.
Real physical affair we have here. A jump ball is going to be called. Possession arrow says where? Well, Imamura has not helped out offensively, but at least you can see there, he was first to the floor, forcing this jump ball situation.
Kishimoto probably is very lucky not to get called for a foul there, because you can see he was chasing him around the street, just tugged onto his jersey slightly. But as you said before, Anthony, this is the finals. Anything goes at this moment, but chance now for the Golden Kings. Cut it down to a one-possession ball game.
Kishimoto now waiting for that Jack Cooley screen, sends it over to the other side to Imamura. Imamura looking for that pick. They send it over to the opposite side, and nobody took a shot.
Well, they weren't aware there that it wasn't a reset of the 24, it was only 14, but again, poor communication from the defending champion. Somebody should have identified that quickly.
That is their third violation of that nature in the first half alone. Nakamura now taking his time with that long shot clock. Nakamura can't get it there to Kawata though. Another turnover. Now they go inside to Law. Law against Mayo. Jack Cooley. Are they going to give him continuation? Well, it doesn't really matter because the Dragonflies are in the penalty. First personal foul on Kawata.
That's a much better patient offense there from the Golden Kings. They tried to go quickly in transition. Good recovery from the Dragonflies, but what they did was patiently wait for Jack Cooley to cement himself inside the paint. Only the first foul for Nafawe, so not too much trouble for them to be concerned about.
Only thing is, Jack Cooley's going to be on the line, trying to cut this lead down even further. So Cooley now at the free throw line. He's got two coming his way. So far, Cooley with 4 points, 2 boards. Their leading scorer is Kishimoto with 8. Law coming off the bench with 7. Cut this lead down to 3. 30-27 is our tally. Tashiro played for less than a minute.
Spare minutes so far for the second string here in the playoffs, but as you mentioned, Naoki Tashiro didn't play at all in the Chiba Jets series. Featured a little bit in the Alvok Tokyo series, but who will be called on tonight? That's going to be the question for Diakotani.
The Golden Kings still with no fouls here in the second period. Evans inside. He's asking for a foul, none given. Play on, they say. But he gets the 2 points. Jack Cooley try to back down Nepawe. Maybe try to get him into foul trouble. That's good defense. Law from the outside. Back rims that one. Jack Cooley. Another offensive rebound. Onodera. Law. That's a long 2.
Just had his foot on the line, Anthony, but again, why does that happen? The 2 offensive rebounds, incredibly big there from Jack Cooley, not giving up. 1:24 to go. If they could
A minute 24 to be played here before the halftime break, and obviously Coach Kyle Milling calling that final timeout of his, wanted to make sure his squad scores here, Josh.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, potentially right now what you're looking at, if you get a stop on defense, a good 2-for-1 could be in favor for the Golden Kings. But for the Dragonflies, they need to keep going to ball screen scenarios with Nakamura. Try to cause problems here for the Golden Kings defense because, as we mentioned, Golden Kings, they really struggle to defend the pick and roll.
Mayo gets denied.
Not sure Nick Mayo isolation is what Coach Kyle Milling wants at the moment, especially from the backcourt.
The ball will stay here with Hiroshima. Once again, great defense there. Vic Laudo was not able to establish himself. The ball still here with Hiroshima. And the Dragonflies actually have 4 fouls to give here if they want to use it wisely. Minute and 12. Kamisawa will check in. He's hit a 3. Inside there. Foul's
That's
going
how
to be
they did the
called.
right thing. It was the previous baseline play I criticized. You saw Nick Mayo's being guarded by Onodera. They try to go quickly, but Mayo's got to go inside the key and seal him off quicker. Get inside the key, get there, get fouled, get to the free throw line.
See, that was the first foul that they could give up. Looks like they really want to try to use it wisely. Ryo Yamazaki on the bench because of 2 personal fouls. That's why Kamisawa's in. Evans will try to attack. There's the quick foul once again.
It's the same story on Onodera. Whoever's going to be matching up with Dwayne Evans, if it's not Vic Law, that is going to be ISO mode. And I guess they're going to bring in Matsuaki, as you mentioned, to try and use those final 2 fouls before sending him to the free throw line.
They don't want Onodera to pick up another one. He picked up 2 quick fouls here. He is part of that starting unit. They send low on Evans. Evans, quick entry. 3 baskets right now here, all in the paint for Kawata.
Well, they did everything right there, Anthony, except they allowed the Dragonflies to get that second chance, and that is what the Golden Kings need to stop giving away in the second half.
Low on the outside. Nice steal by Jack Cooley. Denied there by Kawata. That's going to be another jump ball, and it should be possession now for the Dragonflies.
I like what Jack Cooley's doing right there, playing a little bit of mind games there with Kawata, just getting caught in the jump ball, but trying to frustrate him slowly. But Dragonflies, they have the advantage at the moment. But here, right here, there's the post isolation. Somebody's got to follow up for an offensive rebound.
That has been a great battle to witness here tonight. Cooley up against Kawata inside. As Cooley will take a seat, Alex Kirk is in. Alex Kirk asking the bench if they have fouls to give, and they promptly answer yes. They've got 2 fouls to give. Looks like Nakamura's going to try to wind this one down before they make their attack. Evans, straight line drive, stops. Nick Mayo inside. He'll be fouled by Alan Durham. They wanted to give him the foul, not in the act of shooting.
But again, Alan Durham's arguing with Vic Law. Vic Law's done everything right to defend. I think he's saying come out and switch, but Durham, that's his fault. That's his responsibility because Vic Law's been tied up there, of course, with Dwayne Evans. He can't come out and switch that quickly. Durham's got to be more alert.
Timeout this time here from Coach Dario Kitani. .4 seconds remaining here in the first half. 2 free throws coming up for Nick Mayo. Checking in for the very first time. That is number 34, Keijiro Mitani.
Well, Miss will make this free throw potentially. It could be a 6-point ball game, but the Golden Kings, 20.4 seconds left during the first half. They must go for the very final possession.
Let's
see what Mitani is able to contribute here in this short span of time. Kishimoto. I'll let this one wind down. Now they've got to go for the shot. Quick hands. That's not going to count, even if it goes. He threw it up after the buzzer. Well, they're going to review this one. They have to review this one, but it looked like it was after the buzzer. What did you see, Josh?
That's very tough. Very, very close. At first glance, I felt that he did get it off in time, but as you said, Anthony, they're going to have to review this because it is so close.
First and foremost,
again,
that was great
back,
hands by Nepawe.
But going back to Kishimoto, what is the purpose of the offense? The ball just, I don't think that's going to count, the red light's on. But, you know, the turnover from Kishimoto, the backcourt's got to be a little bit more productive. They're just standing still and literally making it very easy for the Dragonflies to dictate everything on defense. That's not going to count, the red light's on.
Well, so many times, Josh, we talked about the fact that there has been no movement whatsoever for the squad of the Golden Kings, and their offense seems so stagnant here tonight.
Yeah, they're playing as they usually play. They like to spread the floor. They like to rely on the isolation play from players such as Kishimoto and Imamura, but I just feel where they're going to be a lot stronger is trying to throw the ball inside to Jack Cooley. At times, you know, as I mentioned, they have played 5 more games in the regular season due to the EASL. Not to mention they've already gone through 2 Game 3 series of Alvak Tokyo and Chiba Jets. Fatigue is definitely a factor, but you got 20 minutes left to defend your championship. And as Alan Durham keeps putting on Twitter after every series they've won, defend the crown. And that's what they've got to do in the next 2 quarters.
2013-24が開催されます。本大会へのご支援誠にありがとうございます。
Halftime here at the Yokohama Arena finds the Hiroshima Dragonflies up 35-29 as we take a look at some of the highlights here of game number 3, Josh.
Yeah, so far we've seen, the calculated defensive presence from the Dragonflies. They've really tried to make life difficult for the Golden Kings in terms of their volume perimeter shooting, but I just feel here the Golden Kings, they should do this a lot more in the game, try to find more buckets in transition. They haven't had a lot of second chance points like they usually have, and they're really up against an uphill battle, Anthony.
I'm really baffled about the fact that you can see just how effective they are when they do go inside, and they have been doing that all throughout the season. But here today, they have really not gone to their big men exclusively.
Well, we've seen it a few times, but I just wonder, is Jack Cooley 100%? Because times he's got the ball in the paint, he's looked very aggressive, but other times he hasn't looked to get the ball inside the double block. So Cooley's got to try and assert himself, be the fact that Anthony, the three-pointers coming, only 3 so far here in the first half for the Golden Kings, and they've come with shots like these. No man's land, hand in their face. I mean, these will be the threes that the Dragonflies will be quite happy to give away.
You also mentioned the fact earlier, Josh, about the fact that you felt that maybe Alan Durham is also not at 100%, so maybe that could be why they're not going to their imports.
There's a part of that as well, but we've seen the fact all season. This is a team that likes to play chaos basketball. They're very aggressive, they're very rough, and they do rely heavily on getting offensive boards from players like Cooley and Alan Durham, but also being a volume three-point shooting team. They're going to need to change it, Anthony, because 20 minutes ago in the game, they're down by 6. It's going to be the toughest challenge here for the defending champions.
On the other side, very good three-point shooting by the Dragonflies. Coupled there by those inside incursions as well by guys like Dwayne Evans.
What's interesting, you got 2 very similar players on both ends of the floor. You've got you got Vic Law on the Golden Kings and Dwayne Evans for the Dragonflies, and both of those players, when they're not defending each other, that should be an ISO initiative in their mind.
Right now we've got the numbers. What really sticks out to you when you take a look at the numbers that we have?
Well, first of all, you can see here that the Dragonflies have done a much better job of getting points from within inside the rainbow. We did allude to this, especially you talked about this in games 1 and 2. They weren't as effective from within inside the paint as they are here today, but those are standard numbers there from the Golden Kings. Look, go to game 1 against Alvark Tokyo in the quarterfinals. They only hit 2 3-pointers by the end of the first half out of 14. Very similar stat there. It's 3 for 13. They're the kind of team that they can turn it on and off because they played this very chaos style of basketball. And if that gets going for them from the three-point line, this will be their game, and they will make history becoming the second team to win consecutive championships.
You can see both these squads also take very good care of the basketball with only 5 turnovers for the Dragonflies and 6 here for the Golden Kings. As we take a look at the scoring leaders, the rebounding leaders, and the assist leaders.
Well, of course, Takuto Nakamura, the thing I felt he caused a lot of problems here for the Golden Kings is every time he was coming off those ball screens, he comes off so quickly, so aggressively, and that causes a scramble for the Golden Kings defense. Look, the Golden Kings, if they're defending Takuto Nakamura, you've got to come out and stop him in his tracks. You've got to aggressively show, and then you've got to recover. You can't afford to switch on defense because that's then going to lead a player such as Nick Mayer or the likes of Kerry Blackshear Jr. with a mismatch inside the paint. If they take care of that defensively, they can try to get some more stops and get some more transition buckets.
We talked about the fact also all throughout the series that a lot of the imports always getting into foul trouble, but here today the imports of both these squads, the key players in fact of both these squads, are safely not into foul trouble.
And that will be key, of course. We have seen, for both these two teams through the stretch of the playoffs, foul trouble down the long stretch of key games, especially for the Dragonflies in the semifinals against Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, and for the Golden Kings, especially against Chiba Jets. That's going to come crucial in the fourth quarter because at some point you want to take chances depending where you are in the game. And if you're in foul trouble, that makes it much more difficult.
Look at the key player matchup there. No points yet for Keita Imamura. On the other side, already 1 3-point shot for Ryo Yamazaki, but Ryo Yamazaki is actually the only player here so far in this game that is in foul trouble with 2.
Well, Imamura's been taken out of his game. As you mentioned, he's one of the key players along with Kishimoto that really likes to fire from the perimeter. And the Dragonflies, they've made it very difficult. They're contesting everything. They're not flying out to him. They're just making enough space to make it a tough shot. So he's got to find ways to get open. Now, there's 2 ways to get open 3-point shots. You either go in transition with a run and gun style, or you try to come off more screens. But we haven't seen that in any of the half-court sets for the Golden Kings. I just feel if they give themselves a little bit more structure, they can get back in this game and then try to kill it off with the way they usually like to play, which is very much a loose offense and isolation style.
Let's see what transpires here in the final 2 quarters. The final 2 quarters of this season's B-League for 2023-2024. We're going to find out who will be this year's champion in 20 minutes of playing time. We are underway here in the second half, and it's with Kishimoto and the Golden Kings as they trail by 6. Here's Alan Durham. Sends it out to Cooley. Ends up with Kishimoto. Kishimoto inside, gets denied.
So the initiation of the offense, they went to Alan Durham and he tried to go for the post backup, and there was a collapse on the help side, ready to make sure he didn't get anything easy. That's where Imamura and Kishimoto's got to flash somewhere on the perimeter to get open.
Nakamura has not just helped out offensively, but defensively has come up with a few blocks and steals. Kishimoto with the inbound. From the wing, that's going to stay down.
See what I said?
Finally.
Anthony, coming off a screen, getting open, that should build his confidence. He's got to build off this now.
Let's see if that can get him going on the other side. Dwayne Evans being hounded on the outside, will get it back. That's a poor foul from Imamura.
It's an early foul. You're right, it is a poor foul, but I think the reason why you're just trying to kind of frustrate Dwayne Evans. I mean, look, I don't agree with it, but yeah, it doesn't put him into any foul trouble, but it kind of just sends a cerebral message to Dwayne Evans. You want to do things you can to take him out of his game.
Let's see if it does work. Blackshear on the outside. We'll give it up. Here comes Nakamura, left-handed drive, no.
That time Kishimoto decided to chase him, but again, Nakamura getting inside the paint a little too easy there for the Dragonflies.
One-on-one basketball is going to work here for Keita. He's got back-to-back baskets.
So lucky not to get called for a backcourt violation on that one, Anthony.
That was very close. Evans. He'll give it up. He's going to get that one back. Kawata not likely to operate that far away from the basket. Shot clock winding down. Evans doesn't realize it. Bailout shot not going to work. Blackshear's there. And he puts it through.
Oh, Jack Cooley did everything right there. Switched on defense, tried to contest it from Dwayne Evans, but by bringing Cooley away from the basket, they gave away another offensive rebound.
Leads back up to 4. Imamura now starting to feel it. Puts up a 3. That's going to stay here in this end, I believe.
They called the foul here against Nafawe, but Imamura's coming off a screen there. I mean, that's a good shot. I've got no problems with that one. It is contested, but it does put a lot of pressure on players like Cooley to come up with offensive rebounds. But this is better here from Keita Imamura. Attack the bucket. Make the defense draw some contact.
Officials just checking on something here before we get back into action. So that's going to be the second personal foul on Kawata. Quick hands for Blackshear.
It's a little too casual going through the inbound plays. You got to be a little bit more clinical.
They send it over to Blackshear. That's going to be an illegal pick, and that's going to be foul number 3 on Nafawe.
Replay that. I think it's on the foul, yeah. But I need to see the replay. I'm not quite sure what he did wrong.
Well, he impeded the progress of the defender. Here it is.
Let's have a look here. I mean, yeah, I've got to agree with the referee. It's just a minimal bit of movement that it does cause a foul. And this is big now here for the Golden Kings because the key rebounder, the key go-to player here defensively is out of the game.
This is the cue for the Golden Kings to look for Jack Cooley. Kishimoto gives it to Durham. Durham goes inside of Jack. Against a double team.
Yep,
that's a
good
foul.
Spacing, such a problem here for the Golden Kings. Way too congested. Nobody on the baseline trying to free up a little bit here for the backcourt because you can see Kishimoto tries to go for a kick-out penetration with Alan Durham. But there's defenders all around them. They've got to get the spacing right, Anthony.
Jack Cooley doesn't agree with the travel, but he definitely took more than a couple of steps. Ooh, a foul's going to be called there on Jack. That's another cheap foul there, Josh.
Yeah, it's all become a little bit sloppy here at the moment.
Oh no, the foul's going to be on Kishimoto.
Kishimoto, yeah.
So Cooley, we just won, but that's going to be 2 on Kishimoto. Evans, that's a long 2. Short.
It's a good shot in the sense there was nobody around him, but he should just try to get behind the three-point line. But again, Golden Kings trying to go underneath the ball screens. That's caused him a few problems so far here in the first half.
Kishimoto still up high. Onodera looking for the entry pass. Can't get it there, so they send it to Jack Cooley. Imamura still on the outside. Shot clock at 3. 4 shot there, almost went down. Here come the Dragonflies in the open court. Isaiah Murphy, no.
On the previous offense, Onodera should have gone immediately to Alan Durham in the low block. They try to go for the high-low play with Jack Cooley, and again, it just causes problems here for the Golden Kings.
Well, foul's going to be called there on Murphy. He thought he got all ball. There was a lot of body, so Jack Cooley on the line for 2 shots.
And that was a traveling violation. Cooley should have no argument. So go this previous play. Cooley's going to the free throw line. It's all accidental because Durham tries to go in the paint. He almost turns it over and it just falls into the hands. But Anthony, that is why Jack Cooley is here, because he will make the paint his domain. Anything that happens, he has got such a strong nature about him. Any loose ball, he's grabbing it 50-50. And that is what's going to be the crucial way for the Golden Kings to claw and fight their way back in this one.
Lead has been cut down to 3. Another free throw coming here for Jack. A terrific crowd we have once again here at the Yokohama Arena. And why not? They realize and understand this is the final game of the season. And they want to see their respective squads take home the championship. Here comes Vic Law checking in. Matsuaki also in the ball game here for Coach Dayo Kitani.
They've gone slightly smaller here, so Durham's going to play the 5 role matched up with Kerry Blackshear. No Alex Cook, Jack Cooley for the Golden Kings.
Good handoff. Nakamura. Dribbling all over the place. Ends up with Rio. That's a great pass. Easy, strong finish for Blackshear.
Well, that's Alan Durham there, because it was good switching with Matsuaki and Vic Law to make sure the backcourt was out of sync. But, you could see Durham getting caught on the backdoor play.
Law will give it up. Not the best of passes. Isaiah Murphy was all over that one.
It's a little too predictable as well. I mean, they telegraph every pass, and that's what the Dragonflies are initiating. Still, we haven't seen many post entries. Durham again is trying to seal off Kerry Blackshear. Give him the ball. But right here, Durham. We talked about the switching with Matsuaki and Vic Law. Durham just falling asleep.
Kishimoto at the controls once again. Goes inside. The flip. Just short. Evans now at the 1. He has played a lot of point guard here today and in the series. Blackshear to the wing. Yamazaki tries to go to the corner and loses it.
The double team came over. There's quite an aggressive bump there. Could have potentially argued a foul, but let's have a look at the replay here. Oh, no, Bob, no, I take back what I said. He lost his balance. Completely good defense.
Ball now to the Golden Kings. The last deadlock was at 12. That was ages ago. Imamura. We're going to go to the corner. Kishimoto. Shot clock again winding down. Matsuaki puts up a strong one. Too strong. Murphy will get fouled.
So the issue I've got here with the Golden Kings defense, the initiation of the offense, you can see Kishimoto's either trying to get the ball to Imamura or trying to go to Vic Law. The defense is over denying it. At that point, there you've got to go out of your system. You've got to isolate to put the defense under pressure. In that case, it almost seems like they're trying to go for the sets, and it's just too predictable here from the RYUKYU Golden Kings.
And off that loose ball foul, that's going to be personal foul number 2 for Alan Durham. Both squads with 3 team fouls. So back to live action. Nakamura. And we get some last minute instructions there from Coach Kyle Milling. We go right back to Dwayne, to the wing. A lot of physicality, and that is going to be a quick foul on him.
Well, had they called this on Vic Law, did they call on Imamura? Because Imamura went down for the reach. That's on Imamura.
That's going to be the 4th team foul, so in the penalty now at Golden Kings. Let's see if the Dragonflies try to go inside that paint a little bit more. They swing it outside. Yamazaki, that'll drop.
Then it's a little scramble, and in the end, what happens? Another wide open, uncontested three-pointer, Anthony. And this is absolutely killing the Golden Kings, but good for the Dragonflies.
Kishimoto still up high. Now initiating the offense. That pass was just too strong, past the hands of Law.
Well, the Golden Kings, no identity here on the offense. It almost seems like they're just going through the sets, going through the motions, and not particularly reading the defense. But even this defense here from KT Mamora, you've got to keep them in front of you. It's almost like they're chasing them, trying to make the go for the steal or force a turnover. You've got to be composed and stick to your principles. It's becoming chaos basketball for the defending champions.
Dwayne Evans inside, flips it up and through.
A nice little Euro step by Dwayne Evans, but again, defense, they're going to chase you. You just have to read them and find that opening, and that's exactly what Dwayne Evans did. He read the defense from Vic Law and just went for the simple Euro step.
Under 4 minutes to be played here in the third quarter. And still hanging on to a comfortable 9-point lead are the Dragonflies. Coming off that timeout, let's see what Coach Daya Okitani orchestrated. Nice tap from the back. 2-1. Evans almost traveled. Ooh, that's clearly a foul.
There's no composure right now here for the Golden Kings. You know, you're looking at this backcourt at the moment, and, you know, you talk about the key players that should be taking responsibility. If I'm Daya Okitani, you need to give Kishimoto a little breather right now. Get him off the floor and probably put Vic Law as the primary ball handler. Because if your backcourt are making countless turnovers like they have here this evening, it's killing the confidence of the rest of the team.
That's going to be the third personal foul on Kishimoto. And 2 more free throws here on the side of the Dragonflies because the Golden Kings are in the penalty. They got in there with still 4:34 to be played. So 2 shots here first for Dwayne. And as you suggested, Kishimoto to the bench, Onodera back in.
And all it is right now is nerves. You can just see the confidence has been knocked out of Kishimoto. He just needs to gather himself here in the next 3 minutes 35. Get him back in the fourth quarter. But you know, the thing is, your backcourt, they are so imperative to how your team dictates their offense. If they can't take care of the ball, Anthony, then what are you saying to your front court? What are you saying to the rest of the players that, hey, this game's done and dusted?
Second free throw coming up here. Now a double-digit advantage enjoyed by the Dragonflies. Looking to get their very first B.LEAGUE title. Can they hang on? The lead is now at 11. 3:30 to be played here.
30. Just need to build some confidence here. Build some rhythm to take it to the fourth quarter. Doesn't need to really cut the lead down drastically, but...
Law's going to miss everything there, Josh.
It's not the worst of attempts, though. It's a kick into the post. He comes off a screen. Yes, it's contested, but they've got to keep fighting through it. It's a better offense than they've had in the past few offenses.
Now May will bring it down. As they send Nakamura to the wing first. Eventually it's going to end up with him. Up high, Evans, no challenge. They caught a break there. Nakamura finds Evans. Evans to shoot over Matsuaki and miss. Golden Kings need to score here. Open three, not gonna work there.
That was a hesitation there from Onodera. He didn't quite know whether to shoot it, but he was so wide open. Anthony, he's got to pull the trigger right away on that one.
And I guess he's got to shoot it with confidence. It didn't look like he really did want to take it. Evans will give it up first. Try to attack. 1 second remaining the shot clock. Onodera clears.
It's a great job there by Jack Fuller. The one center you can't afford to switch on any backcourt player. Just does enough to contest that shot to make it difficult for Dwayne Evans.
Cooley will come out, set that pick. Long shot, not going to work once again for Keita.
But Anthony, you got to ask the question why. There's been no entries into the post. This just isn't working here for the Golden Kings. Got to change it up.
I agree. They've had less entry passes here in the second half as compared to the first. And in the first, they hardly had any. Good takeaway. Foul's going to be called there, stopping the action. That's going to be the fourth personal foul, though. So he, the first person, in foul trouble.
That's good defense.
A terrific block there. So Imamura
Just wanted
stays
to
in.
the Golden Kings. Just trying to get into a half-court set with a ball screen. Try to get a switch somewhere. Try to attack an area because offensively they need something or anything right now just to build a little confidence for them.
Look at the turnover situation for both these squads. 10 turnovers so far already for the Golden Kings. Only 7 for the Dragonflies. Both teams now in the penalty. Attacking the defense of Funyu. Wide open shot, Law. Yes.
Anthony, how does it happen? We talked about it. You get the ball in the hands of Durham. All he does, he makes the defense collapse, and in the end, they get a wide open look. That is what we're talking about. Build high percentage looks.
Attack not going to work for Blackshear. And we're going the other way.
A great opportunity here for the Golden Kings, Anthony. I mean, this is quite a do. I mean, right here. Defense collapse. What happens? High percentage look. But now with just over a minute left, Golden Kings will get it back. A potential 2 for 1 here if they play their cards correctly.
Will there be an attack once again? We're losing his footing there is Durham. That's going to be another jump ball. Let's see where the possession arrow points to.
That's just a terrible offense.
The other end. Kawata has very quick hands for a big man.
That's what he was renowned for when he played in New Mexico. He's just such a very good defender. The key thing with him is he is ideal for any team here in the B-League because he's able to switch on so many positions. You know, he's very effective at guarding 1 through 5, and that is why it's been such a big turnaround for them since he came to this team this season.
Seiyafumu in. He had a big 3 in the first half. Not to mention orchestrating properly for his squad. The flip a little bit too strong.
The Golden Kings got away with that one, Anthony, because you could see there it was actually Vic Law who came out to show very aggressively on the dribble handoff. Matsuaki doesn't really recover, but now they're going to be rewarded with 2 free throws.
And that's a very poor foul for Kawata. That's going to be number 4. He's going to be in the freezer at least until maybe the last 5 minutes of this one. So 4 for Murphy, 4 for Kawata.
The big free throws now, chance to cut it down to potentially a 3-possession ball game, but there's only 3.2 seconds difference between game and shot clock. So if you are the Hiroshima Dragonflies, you want to dribble it right down to the final seconds here in the third quarter.
9 out of 12 free throw shooting here for the Golden Kings. They've gone to the line more than the Dragonflies have. Another one coming. Cut this to 6. So Imamura now with 6 points. All of those points, Josh, here in the third.
Well, he started the third quarter off very well, but again, what he wants to do, find that rhythm from the perimeter. You don't want to foul here. Don't want to send Dragonflies to the free throw line.
Two-second difference in the game clock and the shot clock. Swinyu wanted to make his move yet. Blackshear.
That's going to be an
Might be a
offensive foul,
charge.
yeah. So 3.4 left here in the third quarter, Anthony. I mean, to get this deep in the sideline, they want to go quickly. I mean, if anything, try to get fouled, get to the free throw line yet again, but this is quite a big confidence booster and a momentum changer for the Golden Kings heading into the fourth quarter.
.4, they got to go quickly. And a kiss it off the glass, it doesn't work. 3 quarters done here for game number 3. And it's only a 6-point advantage enjoyed here by the Dragonflies, which sets up a scintillating fourth quarter. We'll be back. Ten minutes to decide who will be this year's B-League champion. Will it be the repeat champion of the RYUKYU Golden Kings, or will it be a new champion in the Hiroshima Dragonflies? We'll find out as we enter our fourth and final quarter. Anthony Santay together here with Josh Bett, and we're so glad you're joining us here for the final game to find out who will be crowned B-League champions for 2023-2024. Wanna see an inside low. Tries to shoot over the defender, a little bit too strong. Tracked down by Matsuwaki. Alex skirts inside, but doesn't get the pass. Durham trying to do it by himself lonesome and will be called for traveling.
Well, Durham just took a little bit too much time to make the entry pass down low to Vic Law, and then Vic Law caught it in a more tough angle. But also, I feel like Durham probably could have taken a three-pointer there. You can see defensively he's going to struggle against the likes of Kerry Blackshear Jr. inside the paint.
Nice little chat there between Blackshear and Alex Kirk.
Well, for the fans watching as well, you have to remember this is the third consecutive final for the RYUKYU Golden Kings. They lost in 2022 to the Utsunomiya Brecks. They won last season. For those who are very familiar with one LeBron James, imagine what it's like for him when you go to 8 consecutive NBA finals. These Golden Kings players, for sure, mentally as well as physically, are feeling fatigue at the moment.
Nick Mayo, fresh off the bench. He has not played heavy minutes, so he's ready for the fourth quarter grind. Puts up a three, bang!
That's the benefit of having Nick Mayo in the corner. You just have to have Nakamura break down the defense and the penetration. What happens? You kick out to a wide open shooter.
Two-man game. Alex Kirk gets denied.
It's a little too predictable here for the Golden Kings. Dragonflies, they have the game in their hands right now. They just need to run away with it here in the early minutes.
Kishimoto's been sent back in to start the fourth. Look at the patience being shown here by the Dragonflies. Fall away shot will come up short.
They can't take the game pace by pace, but if I'm Dayo Katani, you don't want to mess around with your lineup. I would probably get your starters in right now or in the next few minutes, because here's the game. You're down by 9 points. Well, Cooley's come back in. That's the right choice. They've got to go to Cooley a little bit more offensively.
Yamamura also back in the fray. And an offensive foul is going to be called on Jack.
That'll become a case of a helpless cause here.
Go ahead, Josh.
No, I'm just saying it's case in point. Right now, you just these are rookie mistakes, and you wouldn't expect this from a defending champion.
Mayo, another three? No. Nice rebound there by Durham. He'll push the pace. Has to get inside quickly. Will overshoot. Jack Cooley doing what he does best.
Well, that's why he's in there. But again, you like what Alan Durham did. Went straight at the defense. Didn't try to get into a half-court set. Try to catch him off guard. But that is why the Koolmeister's in there. Follow up. Get those offensive rebounds. Big minutes coming up here in the first quarter. Excuse me, the fourth quarter.
Hand off there. The flip inside. There's going to be another foul there from Cooley. Yamazaki hit the deck really hard.
Well, that's going to be his third foul of the game, but he does have one more to give away after this. And what a hard foul there against Yamazaki.
I'm a bit surprised, Josh. Keijiro Mitani is in the ball game here in the fourth period.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different changes here in the game because, you know, the B-League is a very, very long season. You know, it's probably one of the few professional leagues that you see in the world where there's back-to-backs on the weekends, there's a game midweek. So I think at this point, Kyle Milling's probably looked at some of his players and just probably taking the fatigue factor in it. Look, he's got his great core of players that are his go-to options. Dwayne Evans, the likes of Nick Mayo, not to mention Kerry Blackshear Jr. And without HIROSHIMA, it's about finding those glue players. Another influential player has been Nakamura. So if anybody can come in and play relief minutes for the Dragonflies players, Coach Milling, he'll take that gamble.
Let's see if that gamble does work out. His squad is still on top. As Yamasaki gets both to drop, and the lead's back up to 9. The clock not yet a factor. But the Golden Kings need to take good shots. Cooley's gonna lose it. Great defense once again from Nick Mayo.
Such a poor pass.
Now they're going to be as methodical as they possibly can once again, talking about the guys in white. How they make their move. With 5 seconds on the shot clock. That's a heads-up play there, but just not dropping for Dwayne Evans.
So you want to go quick with the Golden Kings. Try to get something quickly, but again, they just don't do the transition game isn't good enough, Anthony.
Inside, Keita. Almost an offensive rebound there from Cooley, but again, they get nothing offensively. Mayo now on the outside. Up against Durham. We'll give it Evans. An offensive foul is going to be called on Dwayne.
Clear as daylight. You can see what he wanted to do. He wanted to go right at Jack Cooley, make him pick up his 4th personal foul, but the elbow to the face, you just can't get away with that one. I think Vic Law is going to come back in the game if for Matsuwaki. You've got to put your strongest 5 here for the final 6:15.
Only the first personal foul there off that offensive foul on Evans. We're now at the 6-minute mark. Just about. Foul's going to be called to Nakamura. Kind of battle for position there against Vic Law.
I feel as well the team who does get into the penalty first could be the team that maybe changes this one, but yeah, Vic Law, if he's going to be guarded by these on the switches by players like Nakamura, then you've got to take advantage, go to him right away. And nothing
the best of
again.
Shots. Again, a hurried 3 coming from Imamura. Attacking the interior. We get it to Evans. To the wing. Mayo might have stepped on the baseline.
Well, the Dragonflies could have run away with this one in the last 3 possessions. They just haven't taken advantage. But my worry now for the Golden Kings, where are the points going to come from? Because there's no structure in their offense. It's they're sticking to their principles, which, as we mentioned, is chaos basketball. They've got to find ways to score.
So Cooley's going to hit the bench. Here comes Alan Durham. Where are they going to get their points, though? Talking about the Golden Kings. Imamura has forced a couple of shots. We'll get it back. Brings it inside. That's going to drop for Keita.
Well, anything right now to stay in the game. You can see it's a better penetration, but, you know, as we said, anywhere to get the points. Second chance points in the case there for Vic Law.
Breakdown in defense. Lo and behold, Mitani scores.
I need to see the replay of that one. I want to find out what led to the miscommunication. Why again? Yeah, we talked about how many open threes have had time. You've just given a wide open layup with 4:58 to go here in the 4th quarter. Anthony, that's just not acceptable. I really need to see the replay of how that's happened.
Here it is.
It's Imamura and it's Kishimoto, both of them chasing the same player. You can't make that mistake, Anthony. You're just giving the title to the Dragonflies.
Definitely not at this stage. We've got an official timeout. 4:58 to be played here in game number 4. Final 5 minutes of the B-League season for this year. And we're going to crown a champion. 53 for the Dragonflies, 44 for the Golden Kings. As we approach the home stretch, Kishimoto.
The Golden Kings right now, Anthony, you got to attack the paint. Right now, they've been too reliant on this dribble handoff that hasn't created anything from the perimeter. They've got to find ways to dissect the defense down.
Let's see if that's what they do. Layup is going to work there for Keita.
The Dragonflies defense have been so accustomed in this game to just being 1-2 passes away, waiting for a bad shot to get on the break. In that case, they really had to move. But now the Golden Kings, they've got to dig deep defensively. They can't afford any mismatches or miscommunications.
Evans, nice lob inside. Maya was looking for a highlight play there.
I just wonder, did Imamura really need to go for that? Did that come off of Nick Mayo, or did they get a touch? Was there a touch by Vic Law?
We'll find out here.
I think, yeah, he made the right choice. Had to go for that one.
5 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Nakamura, big three!
Kishimoto just fell asleep on defense. It went to Evans. Everybody got caught ball watching, and Nakamura just steps in for an open 3-pointer.
Lowe will kick it out. Durham, back to Lowe. Will come up short. Good help defense there by Evans. And Evans will get that rebound. Under 4 minutes here.
They pay by taking Jack Cooley out of the game, because Cooley would have come up with that offensive rebound.
I agree. Imamura with the rebound there. Kishimoto and company got to push. Durham trying to attack the defense. He might have traveled, and he did. Are they rushing things, Josh?
Let's have a look at the replay. Here's the back down. That's the right call for sure, yeah, but this has been a problem here. Durham's been out of sync all game, but it's the same thing as said here. There's no structure to the Golden Kings offense. It's spread the floor, and it's let everybody create, and that's worked for them in the regular season. That's helped them in the quarterfinals and semifinals, but it just hasn't clicked here tonight because they haven't been able to get things going from the perimeter. I would get Cooley back in the game, as well as make sure you run everything through Imamura as your primary ball handler. Because when he gets inside the paint, you can see the defense, they have to shuffle, they have to move, they have to switch, and that way they're able to spread the floor. But Anthony, the fact that the Golden Kings haven't been able to get things going from the perimeter has really hurt them and could cost them the championship tonight.
I totally agree, and that gentleman right there, a big loss for the Dragonflies. But Nakamura has played exceptional here in his place. Three minutes, 26 seconds remaining in game number 3. 10-point lead enjoyed here by the Dragonflies. Possession though is here with the Golden Kings, the defending champions. Oh, check that. Dragonflies ball.
The Golden Kings, they need to stop here right now. They can't afford this to get any bigger.
Evans is going to use clock once again. They will attack at the last 7-8 seconds. It's right here. Evans up and under move. The flip drops.
What Evans did so well there, Anthony, didn't try to play the muscle back down game. He just read Alan Durham effectively, was able to spin around him.
Kishimoto's looking for his shot. It wasn't there. Block slowly. Starting to be a factor here. Law. Quick attack's gonna lose it.
There's only 0.2 of a second left on the baseline, so once you get it in, you gotta boot it up, I guess.
And something going towards the basket, near the basket. Almost a dunk. This has got to be an extra quick play. In the moment it was touched, that's going to be it. That's going to be the 4th 24-second shot clock violation here in game number 3 for the Golden Kings.
Well, there was so much space between Vic Law and his defender. I just found if he quickly flashed to the perimeter, they could have just quickly got it and threw it up even better, but you see Dragonflies, all they've done all game long, collapse the paint, make life difficult.
May once again, they'll hold on to this one. Evans will wait till the 8-second mark. That has been their game plan all throughout the night. And they'll go. This might be the dagger. And scoring again is Evans.
That might be all she wrote here, Anthony. And you know what? The Golden Kings, I can't understand the lineup they've got here. You don't have your best players on the floor. If I was Dio Kutani with 4 minutes left, I would have had Kishimoto, Imamura, Vic Law, with Jack Cooley and Alan Darman. But again, it just hasn't gone their way. I don't think matchup-wise they've done themselves any favor in this finals.
Two minutes, 16 seconds separating the Hiroshima Dragonflies from their very first B.LEAGUE title. $60-46 is our tally here. Anthony Suntari together with Josh Bett for game number 3. They embattled Dio Kitani, and the Golden Kings need to score here, Josh.
Oh, they got to go quickly now, and you got to think down by 14. Maybe you should stop thinking about going for a three-pointer potentially, but well, again, that has been the story of the offense here for this game for the Golden Kings. The body language, it concedes defeat for me, Anthony.
Jack Cooley was looking for a teammate at the corner. There was no one there. And expect the Dragonflies to use clock. Shogo Asayama might just be sent in here for the final minute. Trying to finish. Not going to work there for Mitani. Mitani's in the ball game here in the 4th and in the closing minutes.
That's a good testament for both those two players. Of course, you got one veteran player, one still in his prime, of course, but what a way for them to finish the season and to be on the floor when this 1 minute 47 is up. I mean, history is going to be made, we said either way today, and the Dragonflies will become the 5th ever B.LEAGUE champion.
Rio puts up a prayer. That's not going to hit iron.
It's interesting where it's all gone wrong here for the Golden Kings. You know, the thing I've got to mention is it's just such a time, the sporadic rotation in the lineup, and I just feel at times there hasn't been consistency of how they've gone with these substitutions.
Misfiring there from point blank range is Kishimoto. And that should be it. Will they have to foul to try to extend this ball game here, Josh? Just take a risk and hope that there are free throw misses coming from the Dragonflies.
It's highly unlikely at this stage. Again, I just think offensively there's been no identity here from the RYUKYU Golden Kings. They haven't been able to create anything, and you know, that's a lot of credit down to Coach Kyle Milling. He knew after game one that they had one option. After seeing them make 15 three-pointers in game one, he said, listen, if we can try to make this team take more difficult three-point shots, we can probably win this series. And we saw that in the second half of game two. They completely made life difficult. And what's happened, they've done the same here in game three. Golden Kings, they haven't been able to adapt. There's been no game plan or plan B for that matter.
Look at Mitani and the rest of the squad just dribbling this one out. So there will be no foul. Steal by Law. He'll take it in for a quick two.
Well, you got to feel for Vic Law, of course, because it's now 2 consecutive B.LEAGUE finals he's gone to. He went with the Chiba Jets last season, lost to the Golden Kings. Now he joined the Golden Kings this season, and it looks like the inevitable is going to happen yet again. But again, I just have to question, players, you know, you have your role players, you have your go-to players, you have your backup players, and I just felt that in this finals, there's been too much, you know, squandering of that lineup. You haven't quite had the right players in at the right time, and that's gone into the advantage of the Hiroshima Dragonflies.
In a minute and 3 seconds, the B.LEAGUE will have a new champion.
Yo, Anthony, credit to this team. You know, it's a stepping stone. It's a building block. Go to last season's B.LEAGUE playoffs when they had Kai Sota. They went in the first round, and they took a lot of inspiration from that game, the game one, which they did defeat the Chiba Jets, but ultimately lost in 3 games. And again, you can see it's a progressive pathway. So kudos to this team. What I find interesting, on one side of the playoff bracket, you had Utsunami Brex going up against Chiba Jets in the first round, and RYUKYU Golden Kings against Alvak Tokyo, arguably the 4 best teams in the regular season of the B.LEAGUE. Now, take nothing away from the other 4 teams, Sana, Neo Phoenix, Mikawa Seahorses, Hiroshima Dragonflies. But again, they've had slightly a bit of an easier road to the playoffs, but they've defied all the odds, and they've come here to this finals, and they've done a better job.
Yes, they have. Off that foul, 2 free throws coming up here now for Dwayne Evans to extend their lead further, which is already at 12. Already.
The big question, of course, is going to be what changes are going to be made for both these two teams. We saw with, you know, the Golden Kings, they let Cole Flippin go. He obviously went to a team to play a bigger role in his career, but bringing in Vic Law, bringing Alex Cook, now you got to wonder what's going to be the case here for the Hiroshima Dragonflies, because especially players like HIROSHIMA, their value, even though he's injured, is going to go so much higher now that they will be B.LEAGUE championships. So Kyle Milling, he's got to try to keep this core of players together next season. Then he's got to wonder, who does he want to bring in to try and defend their championship?
Lead is now 13. Can they get a quick hit from 3? Lowe will bring it inside. They're going to give him the 2. Evans pushes it forward, but he's going to get fouled. So trying to extend the game are the Golden Kings.
Well, tough here on the Golden Kings, Anthony, because, you know, we saw they came in game 1. They were completely dominant in the first 3 quarters. Remember I said to you, the 4th quarter comeback, even though that the Dragonflies weren't going to be able to win game 1, I did feel that we were going to see a different team in game 2, and we did see that in the second half. And, you know, kudos, give credit where it's deserved. This team, they have just found a way to exploit the RYUKYU Golden Kings' inability to defend, to pick and rolls, but also the inability to find a game plan B when the 3-point shots aren't dropping. Kyle Milling, his players, they have suffocated the Golden Kings' backcourt, prevented them from having the same shooting night from the perimeter as they had in game 1.
Another miss from the free throw line. Cooley with the rebound. Want to bring this down. It's at 12. Ooh, an offensive foul is going to be called there on Kishimoto. That's all she wrote.
Of course, this team, you know, they had it in the second half. They had that 11-point lead in game 2, and you felt that that was going to be the kill. And I just feel the Golden Kings maybe defeating Alvak Tokyo in 3 games, also defeating Chiba Jets in 3 games, and coming back from that series. Probably just they came into this finals thinking that it was going to be an easy walk to the second championship. But this is the beauty of the B-League, Anthony. You know, any team can step up in any given season. How many years have we seen San Antonio Phoenix, you know, dwindle at the bottom of the B-League to all of a sudden becoming the best team in that conference? It's going to be exciting next season to find out who's going to make that jump.
Well, the San Antonio Phoenix had their eye on the title because they were one of the top teams during the regular season, but they got knocked out by who might just be the eventual champion, the Dragonflies. A lot of changes also going on in the league because a lot of the Asia Quota imports, especially from the Philippines, Josh, have turned free agents. Kiefer Ravena said he's going to be a free agent. 30 Ravena said he's going to be a free agent. Matthew Wright declaring he's going to be a free agent as well.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, the contract comes up to an end, rightfully so. You're going to, as any professional player, you're going to look for what offers you can get. But, you know, in the case of the Ravena brothers, I do find it, I would, if I was personally them, I would stick with their current teams. You know, you got something you can build on with San Antonio Phoenix in the case of 30 Ravena. And Kiefer getting his team, you know, promoted back to B1 is a big say as well. Yeah, I think the B-League, especially for the Asia import quota players, it helps their national teams as well, because respect to the PBA, but when you've got national teams that are playing in a variety of pro leagues, it only helps the development of the national teams.
Yes, it does. Difference of 2 seconds from the game clock and the shot clock. Another foul here will be called on Onadera. No need to extend this ball game. There is going to be no 13-point play in the sport of basketball just yet. And it could be even more as they send in the youngster. Kawata not
Anthony,
sent back in.
One thing I don't want to see online, of course, is, and I think we can anticipate, is the fact that, you know, Kai Soto is possibly one of the best Filipino players today. And I think, you know, there's always going to be a lot of expectation on Kai Soto. But one thing I'm not going to enjoy seeing, of course, is probably going to see a lot of the influencers, a lot of the YouTubers bashing the fact that you know, he left this team. Now they became a B-League champion. I just want to put into the case that when Kai played for them last season, they were much better. He fell to injury. They brought in Nafawe. And, of course, Kai going to Nagasaki made that team better as well. So I think we can anticipate that Kai's time with Hiroshima helped this team immensely last season.
2 free throws by the 22-year-old. What a baptism of fire. As he gets replaced, and Isaiah Murphy in for this final play.
Time to light the cigars in Hiroshima. It's going to be party time tonight in this beautiful city here in Yokohama, but definitely thousands of fans, Anthony, will be enjoying that Hiroshima Dragonflies become the 5th B-League team to win a championship.
In tears already, HIROSHIMA. And your champions for the B-League for 2023-2024 are the Hiroshima Dragonflies.
Credit to this team, Anthony. They did it without their superstar point guard, HIROSHIMA, who averages 10 points per game. But, you know, the thing I've loved about the Hiroshima Dragonflies, what they did in this finals, they were able to adapt after game one. They realized what their opponent was good at. They took him out of their game, and then they identified very quickly that there was no plan B here for the RYUKYU Golden Kings. Phenomenal job.
Disappointment there in the faces of Kishimoto and company, and why not? They were looking for back-to-back championships. It's not gonna happen, as we have a new champion, and it's the Dragonflies for this season.
Interesting. If I'm Dayo Katani, I don't want to make any changes to this Golden Kings team. You have to remember, look, the only changes they made, they brought in the likes of Dick Law and, of course, the big man Alex Cook, who was a two-time B-League champ. Anthony, this is the third finals they've gone to consecutively. And, you know, that is a tough strain on these players emotionally as well as physically. If I'm Golden Kings coaching staff, give these players a little bit of extended vacation, a bit of time off, and try to come back healthier next year because, you know, for them to get to the finals the way they did just shows you how great of a team they are. But mentally, they need a rest. They just need some time off. But here, now it's about the Hiroshima Dragonflies. Kyle Milling, what a phenomenal job he's done with his players. They can celebrate. It's their time now.
I would really like to be able to hear from Coach Kyle Milling and the rest of the players from the Dragonflies. A very, very happy Coach Kyle Milling there. You can see him smiling at everybody, going up to Hiroshima and saying, look, you are part of this squad. You helped get us here. What a terrific final we just witnessed.
Well, it's been exciting playoffs for sure. We've seen many great three-game series. We've also seen a lot of great teams as well, because if you'd asked me in the semifinals, I actually would have bet that the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, with the talent they had, that they were going to get past the Hiroshima Dragonflies. But this team, the one thing they're just so great, they're able to adapt, they're able to learn. And, you know, they've been through the playoffs last season, and even without a star player, they still found a way to win. That is perseverance at its highest level, Anthony.
And all that perseverance is now paying off. Kerry Blackshear with a huge smile on his face. Silidze Kawata as well. Nick Mayo. Everybody really contributed to this squad.
Well, Anthony, going on to Kerry Blackshear Jr., it's very, very interesting because in the 2021-22 season, he was playing in Turkey for Galatasaray. And I remember I was going to commentate the FIBA Eurobasket in Georgia. And many of the Turkish players who played with him at Galatasaray had all said to me that he is going to Japan next year. And I felt, you know, he is going to thrive in this league. And you can clearly see that with Kerry Blackshear Jr. He's a 4-stretch 5. He can put the ball on the floor, but he can also create his own shot and make the three-pointer. And he has just thrived basketball life here in Japan.
Well, credit, of course, to Kyle Milling and the rest of his coaching staff. They wanted to make sure that they got the best imports that they possibly can. And here, let's listen to the interviews.
広島ドラゴンフライズカイル・ミリングヘッドコーチです。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
初優勝、今のお気持ちを教えてください。
First of all, I just want to say thank you to the RYUKYU, their team, all their fans. They showed they were champions this weekend. Tough weekend battle. So thank you to all the RYUKYU people.
まずは本当の
Congratulations to them too for a great
琉球さん
season.
に感謝したいと思います。ファンの皆様、そしてスタッフの皆様、本当にこういった素晴らしいゲームを私たちと一緒に作ることができて本当に素晴らしいと思います。本当にファンの皆様、そして琉球のチームのスタッフ、チーム全員が本当に素晴らしいチームだと思っています。ありがとうございました。
今日はその強敵の琉球を50点に抑えるディフェンスの強度が光りました。試合内容はどう振り返られますか。
But our strength all year is our defense. And I just want to thank the players for believing in our staff, not just myself, but the assistant coaches, the trainers, and everyone who put in the hard work throughout the year. So it's thanks to the players believing in what we do that we came out with our defense this year, and defense wins games and championships.
いや本当に私たちの強みは本当にディフェンス、ですので本当にこの1シーズンを通してですね、コーチングスタッフ、本当に選手たちが、一人一人信じてこのスタイルを信じてくれて、日々の本当に努力をしてくれてここまで、勝ち抜いてきたんだと私には思いますし、本当にここまで信じてくれて選手たちに本当に感謝したいというふうに思います。
チャンピオンシップはワイルドカードでの出場でした。中地区の王者を倒して西地区の王者を破って、そして前年度のチャンピオンに勝ってのチャンピオンへの駆け上がりでした。レギュラーシーズン終盤からのこの素晴らしいチームの戦いぶり、チームの成長、どう感じていらっしゃいますか。
But our biggest strength is our team spirit and our chemistry. We have a very close-knit group of guys who we have a true team. And this is what teams win too. We have a true team. My staff and I, we got here 3 years ago, and the team was near the bottom or last place. And in 3 years, we got to the championship and won it. I'm just so proud of all the hard work they've done. And to finish my 3 years like that, it just feels so great.
いや本当にディフェンスも私たちの強み、なんですけども、それ以上にチームの魂であったりチームスピリットが私たちの本当の最大の強みだというふうには信じていました。私が就任して3年前、広島ドラゴンフレーズ本当に下位のチームだったんですが、私コーチングスタッフ含めてですね、スタッフ全員が僕らの信じてくれてここまで上りついたというふうには思っています。本当に彼らの努力本当に尊敬します。
そして共に日本一に上り詰めたのがこの今日もアリーナを沸かせましたドラゴンフライズのファンだと思います。改めてファンの皆さんに優勝の報告をお願いします。
No. 皆さん、3回。
3回やります。
1、2、3、ガチャチャケガチャチャケガチャチャケ Let's go!
おめでとうございました。
You waited 3 long years to be able to say that here in the championship. And Kyle Milling, ecstatic about that one. Now we might just hear from Shogo Asayama.
優勝おめでとうございます。
はい、皆さんありがとうございました。
現役最後の試合でこの光景です。今お気持ちいかがでしょうか。
いやもう何も言うことないですね。本当に夢のようです。この舞台そしてこの景色を見させていただいた、カエルコーチでコーチングスタッフフロントスタッフ最高のチームメイト、今日この最高のライバルチームと戦えたこの瞬間本当に最高です。ありがとうございました。
このゲーム3もなかなか点差が開かない本当に接戦でした。どういうふうにご覧になってましたか。
いやもう本当に、第3戦そしてファイナルの舞台にふさわしい、そういった試合展開だったと思います。その中でどっちに転ぶか分かんないその中で本当に自分たちは我慢をして最後まで本当にこの勝利をみんなが信じて勝ち取ったそんな勝利だと思います。
朝山選手も一つ一つのプレーに拍手を送っていいプレーでタイムアウトになった時は選手を本当にコートの半分くらいまで出迎えに行っていました。どんなことを考えてチームに貢献しようと思ってたんでしょうか。
いやもう本当にコートにはねこのファイナルの舞台へ立つことはなかったんですけど、みんなと一緒のように戦ったそのことだけはもう本当に、自分自身も、胸を張って言えることなので、もうただただ、自分自身ができること、本当にそこに、自分のことをもう考えてですね、とにかくチームの勝利に貢献できるように、そんなふうに、考えてました。
朝山選手はこのチームができた初期からチームでプレーをしてこられました。 B リーグに参入した時は最初は B2 からのスタートでした。 日本一まで駆け上がりました。クラブの成長はどういうふうにご覧になってましたか？
いやもう本当に今日来てくださっている中にもですね、 B2 時代ので立ち上がった当初の本当に苦しい時期を、支えてくださった方もたくさんいると思います。本当にそういったこのクラブに携わった全ての人たちのそういった思いだとかいろんなものがつながって今日のこの場があるんだと思ってます。本当に、感謝しかありません。ありがとうございます。
では改めて最後にファンに優勝の報告をお願いします。
はい、広島は本当に最高のチームです。僕自身もこんな終わり方ないと思ってます。最後の最後までバスケットができたこと嬉しく思ってますし、皆さんの声援が本当に最高の力となりました。ありがとうございました。
おめでとうございました。続きまして若き司令塔中村拓人選手です。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
いかがですか、優勝の味は？
いやーもう本当に最高ですね。本当にこの舞台でこのチームメイトと一緒に、そしてファンのブースターの皆さんと一緒に戦えたこのファイナルは本当に楽しくやることができました。ありがとうございます。
ゲーム2でも笑顔でプレーしている姿がすごく印象的だったんですが、そうですか、プレッシャーなどはなかったですか？
そうですね、本当になんていうんですかね、挑戦者の気持ちっていうのがあったので、とにかくこの舞台を楽しんでやろうっていうのは思ってたので、自然と笑顔が出てきました。
今日のゲーム3は互いに守備の強度が高くてなかなか得点が入らないという試合でもありましたけれども、どういうことを考えてゲームコントロールしていたでしょうか？
本当に僕たちはディフェンスのチームなので、本当にそこは自信を持ってこの舞台に来ましたし、苦しい時間帯もあったんですけど、チームメイトと一緒に助け合いながら守れて本当に良かったです。
オフェンスでも中村選手が非常に落ち着いてドライブで決めたり、あるいは要所でのスリーポイントも光りました。いかがでしたか、攻撃に関しては？
本当にチームメイトのおかげですね。スクリーンをかけてくれたり、本当にチームメイトが決めてくれたり、本当に僕だけではなかったので、本当にチームメイトに感謝したいと思います。
そのチームメイトで言いますと、浅山選手と1試合でも多く戦いたい、そして怪我で離脱した寺島選手の分もという思いもあったと思います。その点についていかがでしょうか？
そうですね、本当に、朝さんを最後まで一緒に戦いたいと思ってましたし、何よりも僕は亮さんへの思いっていうのが本当に強かったので、僕自身本当に不安になることもあったんですけど、でもそんなことよりも本当にチームメイトがいてくれたおかげで僕自身自信持ってプレーできたので、本当に最後までこの舞台でやれたことを本当に嬉しく思います。
さあ、では共に日本一まで駆け上がりました広島のファンに向けて一言お願いいたします。
本当にたくさんの応援ありがとうございました。
おめでとうございました。インタビューは以上です。
さあ間もなく表彰式が始まりますが、素晴らしい戦いを見せてくれた琉球ゴールデンキングスに盛大な拍手を送ってください。
Well, going back to the interview of Shogo Asayama, he just talked about the fact that first he thanked everyone. He said he has no words, but he said he just wanted to thank his coach, his teammates, and the fans. And he said his role of supporting his teammates right now, obviously not seeing too much playing time, but he just wanted to make sure that the team always had the energy all the time. And he said Hiroshima is the best, and he thanked everyone And he's just so glad to be able to win the B.LEAGUE championship. Nakamura on the other hand, said, I was really happy. I enjoyed this final game. And he didn't feel any pressure, which is very surprising for a first-time group like the Dragonflies to be able to make it here, and he felt no pressure whatsoever, talking about Nakamura. He said we had each other's backs, and the strong points and why they won is really because of the support that they had for one another. As the RYUKYU Golden Kings make their exit, you gotta tip their caps and your hats to them, of course, Josh, because they gave us a thrilling final.
Not only final as well, I mean, they've been so exciting throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Go back to the first series, 3 games. They won in game 1 with a deep 3 in double OT with Kishimoto. That went to 3 games. They won at the Ariake Coliseum. Then back to Okinawa, losing by 32, 33 points in game 1 and coming back to win the next 2 after that. So hats off, but I just feel they desperately need to keep this team together and just need a little bit of time off. 3 consecutive postseasons. It takes its toll on you, Anthony.
And now this night belongs to the new B.LEAGUE champions. Give it up to the Hiroshima Dragonflies.
選手、そしてスタッフへ今一度盛大な拍手をお送りください。まずはじめに優勝した広島ドラゴンフライズでソフトバンク株式会社代表取締役副社長執行役員兼 COO 新場淳様よりプライズボードの授与が行われます。キャプテンはコートの中央へご移動ください。おめでとうございます。新馬様、ありがとうございました。続きまして、今回のファイナルで最も印象的なプレーを見せてくれた選手へ、日本生命様より日本生命ファイナル賞が授与されます。日本生命 B リーグファイナル2023-24日本生命ファイナル賞に輝いたのは背番号12中村拓人選手です。おめでとうございます。中村選手には賞金100万円が贈られます。どうぞコートの中央へご移動ください。それでは日本生命ファイナル賞に輝いた中村選手へ日本生命保険相互会社サステナビリティ経営推進部長加藤雄一郎様よりプライズボードが授与されます。それではよろしくお願いいたします。おめでとうございます。ありがとうございました。続きまして MVP 選手の発表です。日本生命 B リーグチャンピオンシップ 2023-24 MVP は背番号30山崎亮選手です。おめでとうございます。どうぞコートの中央へお進みください。 MVP に輝いた山崎選手へ B リーグチェアマン島田真二より MVP トロフィーが贈られます。おめでとうございます。 ありがとうございました。さあ、それではいよいよ待ちに待ったチャンピオントロフィーの授与です。 B リーグチェアマン島田真二より広島ドラゴンフライズキャプテン浅山翔吾選手へチャンピオントロフィーを授与いたします。おめでとうございます。さあ、さまざまな思いを積み重ねて掴み取ったウィンザデー。ついにこの日が、そしてこの瞬間がやってまいりました。私がチーム名コールいたします。チャンピオントロフィーを高々と掲げてください。さあ皆さん、準備はよろしいですか？それでは参ります。 B リーグ2023-24シーズンチャンピオンは広島ドラゴンフライズ。
What a fitting send-off here for Shogo Asayama, the 42-year-old who is retiring after this season, and he will retire on top of the mountain. Congratulations, Coach Kyle Milling, Dwayne Evans, and the rest of the Hiroshima Dragonflies.
Well, Anthony, what this does as well, it just opens up the B.LEAGUE narrative, because for so many years it's always been the talk of the Chiba Jets, Utsunomiya Bucks, Outback Tokyo. Golden Kings, they changed that last season, but now again we have another champion. We've seen so many teams, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, San Diego Phoenix, Mikawa Seahorses, all come into the frame, and many teams next year, they'll be wondering, Nagasaki Velka with the likes of Yudai Baba, not to mention the likes of Minnesota's team as well. Many will feel they have a good regular season, the championship could definitely be in their sights.
Well, this squad, the Hiroshima Dragonflies, Josh, are going to have a huge target on their backs beginning in October.
Well, I think another impressive thing is, you know, we're going to see this team again this summer, because after winning this championship, they'll be heading to Dubai to play in the Basketball Champions League Asia, the new FIBA competition. That's the rebrand of the FIBA Asia Champions Cup. And they'll also, along with the Golden Kings, be playing in the East Asia Super League next season. So a lot to look forward to here pretty soon with the Hiroshima Dragonflies.
What a fitting way to end the season here. Another successful season for the B-League as they crown yet another new champion. Looks like they're not getting championship rings, they're getting championship watches.
Watches, so they've won 50 million Japanese yen. Now, depending if you're in the USA or the UK, that basically equates to 320,000 US dollars, 200, and I believe 250 UK sterling pounds. So that's not a bad bonus to win for becoming B-League champions.
Nah, definitely. They will gladly take that money, but more than anything else, that championship will last them a lifetime. I thought we were going to hear from more of the players. Maybe from Dwayne Evans, who was a big hero today. Even Tsilitse Nepawe played his role to the hilt once again. Well, Josh, final comments on the season that just was.
Well, of course, Anthony, now it's been our 4th season covering Japanese B.LEAGUE basketball, and it's always getting more and more exciting. I tell you one thing, let's look forward to the BCL Asia this coming, actually in the coming weeks, as that will be held in Dubai. We're going to see Hiroshima Dragonflies, but also looking forward to the Olympics this summer. Japan with a lot of expectations. I tell you, I've already heard from one fan, B.LEAGUE season's over. They're sad. We will be back in October, and I'm looking forward to next year. I feel next season is going to be the gateway, the door open. It's going to be possibly the most exciting and competitive B.LEAGUE season we're going to get to see.
Very well said, partner. And on that note, we're going to close our coverage. We'd like to thank all of you for joining us all throughout this B.LEAGUE season. Till next time, take care. Have a good week ahead. God bless everybody.
いや本当にですね、優勝に対するみんなの気持ち、そしてファンブースター、そしてもうこの試合を見ていた広島県民の願いが本当に叶った瞬間となったと思います。
はい、本当にこの応援団の皆さんの熱、素晴らしいものがありました。さあそしてですね、やはりこのお方に触れなくてはいけないかなと思います。はい。今日で現役生活これが最後の試合となったわけですね。広島ドラゴンフライズ、ミスタードラゴンフライズと言っていいでしょう。
間違いないですね。
背番号に浅山翔吾選手、現役生活お疲れ様でした。
本当にお疲れ様でした。
橋本さんは、
はい、思い出ありますね。僕もちょっと小さい頃からバスケットを始めていて、実はもう OS 時代からもう本当に浅山選手のこのシューターとしての凄さのプレーっていうのは本当に見本となるところもたくさんありましたし、何より、男気があったなというふうに思いますね。
ありがとうございます。本当にこの現役最後のご覧になる風景がこの景色ということで、
いや本当に持ってるなと思いますし、本当に浅山選手の広島で頑張った思いというのが見よった瞬間かなというふうに思います。
本当にお疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。
さあ皆様、今日という B リーグのこの歴史的な一日を歴史の証言者として語り継いでいってください。それでは B リーグ来シーズンの B1、B2 の体制をここで発表いたします。 B リーグ2024-25シーズンの構成はご覧の通りです。越谷アルファスと滋賀レックスが B2 から B1 へ昇格、そして福井ブローウィンズ、鹿児島レブナツが B3 から B2 へ昇格となります。来シーズンもたくさんのご来場、これを心よりお待ちしております。これよりオフィシャルグッズストアにてチャンピオンに輝いた広島ドラゴンフライズのチャンピオン記念グッズを販売いたします。 T シャツ、トートバッグなどの記念グッズを数量限定で販売いたしますので、ぜひお帰りの際にお立ち寄りください。チャンピオン記念グッズは本日より B リーグ EC サイズでも販売いたします。 EC サイズもぜひご確認ください。最後に B リーグアワードショーについてのご案内です。5月31日金曜日、今シーズンを締めくくる最後のイベント B リーグアワードショー2023-24を開催いたします。今年は本場を例のテーマにワールドカップでの躍進、そしてかつてないほどの活躍があった今シーズンの B リーグを締めくくる場として、選手を支えてくださったファンの皆さんのともに今の賞をご用意しております。本日チャンピオンに輝いた広島ドラゴンフライズをはじめ主将選手たちが登場いたします。アワードショーはバスケットライブ、スポーツサービス、B リーグ公式 YouTube でライブ中継を予定しています。ぜひご視聴ください。皆様、最後まで熱い声援誠にありがとうございました。これにて日本生命 B リーグファイナル2023-24全プログラム終了となります。本当に最後まで熱い応援誠にありがとうございました。来シーズンも各アリーナで皆様をお待ちしております。本日は最後まで誠にありがとうございました。
放送席、お待たせいたしました。広島ドラゴンフライズ寺島亮選手来ていただきました。まず今の率直なお気持ち教えてください。
そうですね、本当にもう報われたっていうか、苦しいずっと期間が続いたんですけど、それでもこの最後優勝っていう形で終われたので、本当に最高の気分です。
涙の意味を言葉にするならどういう言葉になりますか？
そうですね、ちょっと長くなるんですけど、やっぱり今シーズンは浅山さんがラストシーズンということで、絶対優勝させたいっていう気持ちで臨んだんですけど、途中で僕が離脱してしまって、すごく責任を感じてたんですよ。その中で最後こうやって仲間がみんなが僕の思いも背負って優勝してくれたので、本当に報われた気分でもありますし、辛さすべてが上回ったこの嬉しさが本当にみんなに感謝しています。
中村選手が亮さんのためにということも常におっしゃってましたよね。
そうですね、彼はもうずっとLINE とかでもいろいろとメッセージで頼んだぞとか、試合の後にいろんな話をしてましたし、こうして最後彼が活躍して優勝できたので本当に嬉しいです。
改めて初優勝おめでとうございます。最後にファンの皆様に言葉をいただけますでしょうか？
そうですね、苦しい時期もいい時期も、最後までこうやって応援していただき本当にありがとうございました。
ここまで寺島亮選手でした。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
放送席、こちら広島ドラゴンフライズ、失礼しました、今ですね準備をしております。すみません、少々お待ちください。これから、広島の選手の皆さんの、インタビューに移ってまいりますが、まずは羽生誠也選手に来ていただきました。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
今の率直なお気持ちお聞かせください。
いや、もう最高ですね。
もう気持ちを前面に出して今日も戦っていらっしゃいましたけれども、ご自身のプレー振り返っていかがですか？
まあ本当に勝っても負けてももうこの40分が最後でしたし、まず第3戦までここまで私たちが来れたのも、本当にいろんな人の支えがあって、そして本当に今シーズンはね、開幕連敗からスタートしてシーズン最初は本当になかなかうまくいかなかったんですけど、 本当に終盤、本当にもう一つも負けられない試合をもう全員で戦って勝っていって、でやっとちょっと光が見えてきて CS が見えてきて、それでもまあ厳しい戦いだったんですけど、もうそこからやっぱり3月から5月はちょっと人生の中でもちょっとあまり思い出せないとか、本当懸命に過ごした2ヶ月だったかなっていうふうに思います。はい、
試合が終わった後はやはりそういった思いの涙もありましたか？
はい、やっぱりチームメイト、あと相手も琉球さんだったので、まあ、いろんな思いがちょっと僕個人的な思いもいろいろありまして、
はい、
はい、
そして本日ですね、放送席上の方なんですけれども、藤井祐真選手いらっしゃいますけれども、藤井祐真選手、羽生選手にお声掛けいただけますか？
羽生おめでとう。
祐真さんお疲れ。
お疲れ。やったよ。よくやったよ。よくやった。
藤井選手どうでした？今日の、羽生選手のプレーは。
いやもう1クォーターの終わりのスリーポイント、あれで本当にだいぶ流れ持ってきましたし、ビッグショットは羽生じゃなかったら決めれなかったショットでした。最高です。
どうですか今のお言葉聞いて？
いやもうありがたいですよね、あんなスーパースターにあんなこと言ってもらえて、はい。
いやありがとうございます。
あと羽生、はい、もうここまで長いシーズン本当にお疲れ。
本当にお疲れだよね。
ここからオフに入ると思うんだけど、オフやりたいことはズバリ何？
やりたいこと？やりたいことはマージャン。イエーイ。
ありがとうございました。最後にファンの皆様、このバスケットライブをご覧の皆様に一言いただけますか？
はい、本当にすみません、本当に応援してくださって本当にありがとうございました。いろいろ本当にいろんなものが込み上げてきて、ただ本当にもう感謝、いろんな人のへの感謝が本当にずっと溢れて、本当に人に恵まれているなって改めて実感したので、またその人たちに恩返しできるように、バスケットを頑張っていきたいと思います。はい、応援ありがとうございました。
はい、ここまで広島ドラゴンフライズ羽生誠也選手でした。ありがとうございました。あ
りがとうございました。
さあ続きまして放送席、はい、山崎亮選手に来ていただきました。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
今のお気持ち聞かせてください。
いやもう本当に最高という一言に尽きるかなと思います。
はい、スリーポイント成功率も非常に高い数字でこの試合戦ってこられてましたけれども、ご自身のプレーは振り返っていかがでしょうか？
はい、いやもう僕は本当にシューターで、キャッチ&シュートがほとんどなので、もう本当にパスをくれるチームメイトだったり、毎回スクリーンをかけてくれるチームメイトに本当に感謝しかないです。
さらには MVP も獲得となりましたけれども、そこに関してはいかがでしょうか？
いや正直本当にまさか僕だとは思ってなかったんで、驚きとともに嬉しい気持ちもすごいあります。はい、
レギュラーシーズンも長かったですし、チャンピオンシップも熱い戦いが続きましたが、今シーズン改めて振り返っていかがですか？
はい、こう長いシーズンで、最初はファンの皆さんをがっかりさせてしまうような試合もたくさんあったんですけど、最後こうして最高の景色をファンの皆さんと共に、見ることができて、本当にやり続けてきてよかったなっていう思いです。
はい、最後にファンの皆様に向けて一言お願いします。
はい、最後の最後まで、僕たち選手を信じて、たくさんの人が応援してくれてたと思います。本当に、ありがとうございました。
はい、ここまで山崎亮選手でした。
山崎選手、
はい、
放送席にいる川村です。
川村選手、
こっちです、こっち。お疲れ様です。優勝おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
放送席からね、CS 男なんて言わせていただいて、はい、山崎選手の活躍をみんなに伝えさせていただいたんですけれども、はい、本当にシューターらしいメンタルと実力見せてもらったと思います。ちょっと気は早いですけど、来シーズンもやってくれます？
いやもうもちろんです。
はい、もう本当にこれからもね、山崎選手らしい、本当にシューターというね、また名プレーヤーが僕生まれてると思うんで、怪我なく頑張ってください。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
はい、山崎亮選手ありがとうございました。さあ、放送席続きまして浅山翔吾選手に来ていただきました。おめでとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございました。
今のお気持ち、率直なお気持ち教えてください。
もう最高以外何者もない。はい。
シーズン全体を振り返ってもいかがでしょうか。
いやもう本当にね、苦しいシーズンだったんですけど、ただその中でも、みんなで乗り越えて、みんなで成長してきて、最後まで戦い抜いた、そんなシーズンかなと思います。
そして選手の皆さんからはやはり浅山選手のラストダンスというところ、皆さん本当に声に出しておっしゃってましたが、そこに関してはいかがでしょうか。
いやもう本当にもう最高の仲間ですし、なかなかね、ゆっくりしたくてもさせてくれない、本当に優しい、後輩たちなんで、ただもう本当もう最後の最後まで、この最高の仲間たちと一緒にやれたことを誇りに思ってますし、もうとにかく頼もしかったです。
ありがとうございます。そして放送席に川村拓也選手、あちら上にいらっしゃるんですけれども、
師匠おめでとう。やりましたね。最高。僕一緒にね、同じタイミングでルーキーイヤーをね、歩ませていただいて、そして浅山さんのキャリアの最後を僕放送席から見届けることができました。本当におめでとう、浅山さ
ん。いやー、ありがとう。もうね、本当タクトは若い時からね、本当に苦しい時期で嬉しい瞬間共にした仲間だしね、最後、こういった形で、自分のね姿を見てもらえてるっていうのはまた嬉しいし、一緒にやった時期っていうのがあるから、また今こうして自分もここに立ててるかなと思うんで、ありがとう。
本当におめでとうございます。他の選手には立たないでインタビューしたのに、浅山さんには立ってインタビューしました。ありがとうございましたおめでとうございます。
見えてるよ。ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとう。
それでは浅山選手、最後にファンの皆様に一言お願いします。
はい、もう本当に皆さんありがとうございました。今日の勝利っていうのは日本のバスケット界の勝利になるような試合ができたんじゃないかと本当に思ってます。これからも、日本のバスケットよろしくお願いします。ありがとうございました。
浅山翔吾選手でした。ありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。了解。ラストいくよ。イエーイ。イエーイ。
あちらリーグオフィシャルもお願いします。
はい。
ご協できれば。はい。どうですか、最後切った瞬間はどうですか、最後。
いや最高です。はい。最高。もう最後にね、またこんなことができるなんて本当にもうみんなに感謝です。はい。ありがとうございます。
はい、終わります。ありがとうございます。
チャンピオンは広島ドラゴン